Le concept d'intersectionnalité a été introduit par l'universitaire Kimberly Crenshaw en 1989. L'intersectionnalité telle qu'elle l'a définie est une métaphore permettant de comprendre les différentes façons dont les multiples formes d'inégalité ou de désavantage se composent et qui parfois créent des obstacles qui sont rarement reconnus. Par exemple, une femme racisée peut être victime de discrimination en tant que femme et peut également être victime d'injustice en raison de la couleur de sa peau. Crenshaw, alors, soutient que cette femme se retrouve à l'intersection de la race et de genre. S'installer dans un nouveau pays peut être intimidant. Les personnes LGBTQ+, nouvellement arrivées au Canada, en particulier celles qui arrivent sans famille, peuvent faire face à de la discrimination, de l'isolement et à des obstacles systémiques qui les empêchent de trouver du travail et de s'épanouir pleinement. Ces personnes sont souvent à la recherche de services, de sécurité, mais aussi d'un lien d'appartenance à la communauté. Often, LGBTQ+ immigrants may not be aware of the kinds of support networks that already exist and that can help them navigate through their new country. Organizations such as GLAC, which pays particular attention to Montreal's South Asian diaspora, is one such group that makes integration easier for LGBTQ+ immigrants. Dans cette dernière capsule de la série Intersectionnalité, nous allons voir comment un groupe en particulier peut s'y prendre pour faire la différence dans l'intégration des membres de nos communautés.
My name is Ramiz Karim. I'm 30 years old. I'm a gay Muslim man that is of South Asian heritage that is currently residing in Montreal. I was born in Nairobi, Kenya, as was much of my family. And I moved to Edmonton, Alberta when I was 2 years old, which is where I was raised. So I'm a bit of a prairie's boy. Currently, I'm pursuing a Bachelor of Fine Arts at Concordia University, specializing in contemporary dance. Since being in Montreal, I have been working mostly as an artist in the dance sphere, and I currently have my own dance troupe called Bales Bollywood. It's a Bollywood and South Asian fusion dance troupe. It's a troupe that I formed to really explore and express and embrace my own creativity and my own artistic practice. I started GLAC a few years ago because I saw that there was no consistent body or specific organization that was working towards the recognition and the integration and the celebration of the South Asian diaspora communities that are in Montreal and Quebec. There are definitely different concerns when it comes to the immigrants. We speak about integration into Quebec society, where there is lots of systemic racism and discrimination. This is a major concern right off the bat, and if this kind of goes hand in hand when immigrants try to meet new people, whether it's in person or whether it's via apps. Specifically via apps, we see a lot of people getting blocked based off their skin color, based off of their ethnicity, based off of their looks, based off of what they put in their profiles. When it comes to language barriers to access basic services, or to begin work, a lot of immigrants have some trouble because French isn't something that they really grew up with. And of course, India was colonized by the English. Well, I think this whole question of intersectionality can be very unique and very different to each individual. I mean, when it comes to me, if you look at the different intersectionalities within how I was raised, I was born in Kenya, but raised in a very strict Muslim family. But I come from Indian heritage, and when you also add in this notion of sexuality and expression, and trying to live your life to be who you are, it can create for a very complicated soup of factors and issues. It can also go back to skin color, which is a really big thing. Colorism is a big thing in the Western world, but it's also a really big thing in India as well. It's interesting because as there's this discrimination and this racism, but there's also this objectification and this sexualization of some members of the community because they're seen as exotic. So I've heard instances of members being called things like Baby Krishna or my Aladdin or my Bollywood Prince. And I find that sometimes this can be as offensive because it shows a lack of understanding of the culture and the people that come from it. When I've spoken to many members that are new arrivals, they sort of have this picture of Canada as being super accepting and sort of being this big haven, for the queer community. And my message to somebody who is residing in South Asia, who is looking to move here, I would want to be completely transparent and completely real with them. And I would tell them that it's not a complete walk in the park. The perception of the community over here being super accepting and open is true, but it's to an extent. So, some members have come to me saying, I came to Canada and I was hoping to find love right away and I didn't find that, or I was hoping to find a job right away and I didn't find that. I was hoping to access, really good healthcare services and I wasn't able to find that. And, that's the reality of the situation. Is the quality of life better here? Yes. Is there better access to services here? Yes. Are there better jobs here? Better education to an extent? Yes. But everything sort of comes in time. It's not that as soon as you come here, everything will be placed for you. Everything will be given to you on a silver platter. It can definitely be a leap of faith, but if it's an opportunity that is made available to you, then I would definitely take it. I think first off, for everybody living in Canada, we need to all take a moment and sit down and accept that all of us are immigrants here at the end of the day. And that in itself sets the stage for a much more humble approach when accepting newcomers and when trying to integrate them. Of course, with systemic discrimination and racial injustice, it's a systemic thing. So, of course, the government has a very big hand to play, but that also trickles down into business owners. It also trickles down into organizations that are trying to practice hiring methods that are more inclusive, that are more diverse, and that do include, the LGBTQ plus community. I think that, organizations that have more of an established base, that have more clout, such as Fierté Montréal, such as Canada Pride, they have a role in providing a voice, in providing a platform, in providing opportunities so that the community is heard, so that the community is seen, so that the community is appreciated. And one example of this is the parade last year with Fierté. We were given a float to represent the community, and this was so monumental because I don't think in the history of the parade has there ever been something that was done like this for the community, that really showcased what the community is made of, who the community is made of, and the beauty of the community. And what was so amazing just from this one parade is that so many people saw that there was a South Asian community in Montreal, and it helped us in our mandate because one of our main goals is to really build community by numbers, right? You can't have a community if you don't have numbers. And so just by people seeing us in the parade, they saw that, okay, wow, there's a community here, there's an organization here, let me reach out to them. And that's exactly what happened. Even now, I have people talking about their experience walking in the parade. Some of the members who walked in the parade, it was their first time being at a Pride parade. It was their first time seeing a Pride parade. It was their first time walking in a Pride parade. So all those things are extremely monumental. And I think we take those things for granted, being born and raised in Canada. For some of us, we've been around this stuff all of our lives. It's been in front of our faces. But for some of the members who come from South Asia, for some of the members who live in Pakistan, who live in some parts of India, who live in some parts of Afghanistan, this is something that has never been done before. This is something that they have never seen. This is something, if their communities at home tried to do this, they would get in a lot of trouble.
My name is Siddharthan, and my friends prefer to call me Sid. I came to Canada 8 to 9 years ago to do my master's in electrical engineering. So basically, I'm an engineer. I did my master's for 2 years, and I started working as an engineer and made a proper life for me here. I came to Canada in the year 2011 from India. I did my bachelor's in India, and doing a master's is like a thing everyone does in India, and that's when I decided, okay, let's go to Canada, and a few of my other friends decided to do it with me. Here I am. Coming from a country, conservative, I would say India has been a conservative country, and back when I used to live there, it was even more stringent in all the issues. And me moving from India to Canada, it was a life, like a dream for me, I would say. Everything was open, everything was accepted. I can be whom I wanted to be. I don't have to be afraid about people judging me. I don't have to be afraid about what I'm wearing, what people are going to think about what I'm wearing. So as a whole, living in India for a person coming from a third world country like India, it's been a really good experience for me. Yeah, it has had its ups and downs, but an overall experience has been a pleasant one. Since I started living my life as a member of the LGBTQ plus community, the major struggle that I would say I faced was getting integrated within the community. Anyone and everyone in the community, Canada and Montreal in specific, I feel like people are open to new experiences, and they are welcoming to new people. But it's just that people who immigrate from a different country, from a different cultural background, they don't know how to find this. So for me, finding a place and finding a way to integrate in the community was the hardest part. And being a person of color and not speaking the same language as everyone was a barrier for me too. Me coming out as a person of the LGBTQ+, and I integrated in lots of groups and communities. I've experienced almost every different culture that exists in Montreal. And everywhere I've been to, I was treated really good. I wouldn't say that I was treated bad, I was treated really good, but I was treated good to an extent where I felt that, okay, I am treated as someone different than one of them. They are trying to treat me special, but I don't want to be treated special. I just wanted to be treated as one. I want to integrate, I want to be part of you, do whatever you do, swear at me if that's what you do, hug me, kiss me, whatever you do, but do what you do with everyone else. You don't have to have any special treatment for me. You don't have to hesitate if you can hug me, because I'm in my culture, it's not. I chose to come to this culture knowing what this is, and I want to be part of it, so. The main issue that I faced was people don't believe that if I'm a person of color and if I come from a South Asian country, they don't believe that I'm gay to start with. I guess it's a foreign entity for someone who hasn't been explored, or that I know that a lot of people are still closeted, because being gay or being bisexual or person of any a queer person is not a famously spoken topic from the country where I come from. So I guess it has been perpetuated everywhere in the world, and people think that if I'm a person of color or if I come from a South Asian background, being gay is not as normal. But I guess it's just lack of education or information. Any Western country, it's really open. Everyone is welcome. You can do whatever you want. You can be the person you want. It is true, but it's going to take time for you to get to that level. So don't expect to be integrated right away. Don't expect to be part of everything as soon as you come in. It's never going to happen. It's going to take time. Have your expectations really low. It is a good thing. It is a good decision to do. Moving from a country where you don't feel welcome or safe, moving to Canada is like a really good option. But just keeping the hopes less would do wonders in your life. You're gonna get there. You're gonna be felt welcome at some point of time, but it's not gonna happen right away. So hold the breath, be prepared, and just wait. Anyone who comes from from a different country, they would be part of their culture no matter what. They would do things that they used to do. They're going to find people of their same cultural background or language or whatever. When they want to integrate to a different culture, it's going to be hard for them to infiltrate somewhere. That's how I feel. It's like infiltrating a new everything. I don't know if this might be even possible, but if there are groups like I do this now, if I'm hanging out with friends and if I feel that there's someone new who has came in and who doesn't have any experience, I personally go and invite them to hang out with my group of friends so that they get integrated, like they feel safe, they feel that they can go somewhere they want to. So anyone or everyone, they can try to integrate more new people into their community, not all at once, but it might be a small get-together of friends, it might be a dinner, it might be a drink at a bar. But if there is a way where we can include people who are recently immigrated here, I think that would help a lot, and that would make them feel safe, because being in your own community is not always the best option, I would say, because your community might be safe, but it might be even different. I felt safe culturally at my community, but I didn't feel safe to come out, because if I had the thought in my head was like, if I come out and if they don't accept me, I don't have anyone else to go, because I don't know anyone else. This was my thought for the first few years that I was here. So if I had known that there are people whom I can lean on if I had an issue, it would have helped me even further in my life.